It's time
Look like so professional. Way to stay silent during it. Oh.
No, I know we were like professional podcasters. It's not like we haven't been doing this for like almost 250 episodes. Hello, everyone. We are the Murder Moose Podcast, part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network.
It's in the game. Oh,
It's in the game. And we're on this streak of like half of the crew like disappearing. Last week, Ken wasn't feeling it, and I went on a date. This week, Brian wasn't feeling it, and Ken disappeared. I think aliens abducted her.
yeah, she picked this movie, and then something happened. Now she's missing in action. Brian, feel better. Also, you're a piece of shit, and I love you, but fuck you as well. And you know, I say all these things with love.
He's 987 years old. He should know his emotions. And
no, I was thinking about how I was gonna bring up him, because last week I was such a dick about you not being here. I was like, fuck Rod, and I was like, I can't not say that about Brian now. So I had to do him the same way.
Yep. Brian's like, I think what happened was that his overly large penis got caught in the doorway, and he shut his overly large penis in the doorway. And,
it's in Ken's ass.
It's in Ken's ass. I mean, we're gonna have to assume it is, because Ken's not here to say it's in her ass, but
it is in Ken's ass. Yes, it's in Ken's ass.
It is in Ken's ass. And and I'm Rod, and this is Joshy Washy Poo. So the original perpetrators of this shit show. We've been doing this for a long time, Josh. Long time. I know you haven't always been here. You've disappeared a couple times, but it's okay. You're beautiful, and I'm
life,
ADHD, and life. This shit isn't important.
I'm getting so much busier right now, but I don't know. Like, as much as I did take breaks for my own sanity, I think. It's good to step away and miss something, and then come back and go, oh, you know what? This is in my life for a reason. Rod, you're in my life for a reason, and I love it. And it is something, man. Like, the fact that the internet exists and we can all come together for our mutual love of horror movies, and then at the same time, that mutual love is then coming at me with that making horror documentary that I was just showing you and stuff. Like, it's cool that I love this fucking thing called horror and movies. And I'm gushing today because horror just brings so much happiness into my life.
Horror, which is about scary things, brings happiness into our lives. Well, the real world scares me. And because this bitch is on fire. This bitch is on fire.
When movies and dystopian futures are less scary than what is actually happening in the world, the world is fucked. It's kind of really fucked right now.
Yep. I mean, it's like when Idiocracy it was a documentary a long time ago. Now it's just wouldn't it be funny if that's what was happening? Like, it is so much worse, and here in America, that is. And reason 989,232 why I got a vasectomy, because bringing children in this world is irresponsible and bad. And I will say it again and again. And
or you might just get with the wrong partner and they just fuck with you and don't even let you see your own fucking kid.
I mean, that is part of the thing too, is that once you stick your wiener in crazy, you're tied to crazy for 18 years, and they could really make your life miserable. And I'm like, shit's all bonkers, man. All bonkers. But
watch a horror movie, I guess.
Watch a movie and wank off into I over the weekend put up a tent in my backyard and went camping with Zelda in my own backyard. So me and
Hey,
Zelda the
man.
poodle.
It's just get a bonfire and a lawn chair. What else do you need?
I was just prepping because Burning Man's coming up. I mean, it's April now, so like a little under 4 months out, or a little over 4 months out, because it's like
You're a
4 months
prepper?
and 10 days. I'm prepping for that for Burning Man. I'm going to Burning Man in August.
So
It
you're a
starts on my
prepper.
birthday. I'm prepping for Burning Man. I'm not prepping for Doomsday. So
Just fucking.
I did
fucking
that.
with you, of course.
Josh is not wearing a hat today, by the way.
Oh, and by the way, if you are here right now, I think there's like the regulars, like 12, 14 of you. If you have not, that is going to put us over. If you have not subscribed on YouTube, come and see our pretty face. Come and see our pretty faces. Hit that subscribe button. We're 7 away. We are 7 away now. I'm making it a thing because the more you talk about it, the more people like be the hero. All we want. This is all we want. We want to get to 100 and then we'll just shut the fuck up about it and we won't bring it up again. We just want to get to 100. Do it now.
It would be nice. We've been doing this a long time and we're just like, man, maybe we should get to 100. Maybe. I mean,
yeah,
we
but
have
now
more
it's a
than
thing.
listens. but
No,
yeah,
100 subscribers. It's just,
Yeah.
we want some more social proof that this is worth doing. If you don't get us to 100, this thing will disappear and it will be your fault.
Yep. It will disappear like your wiener without your Viagra pills.
Yes.
It goes gulp and never gets back up again.
Like at some point, though, there has to be growth, and it's just a thing. So
just like a wiener, Josh. There has to be growth.
Yes. Because we can't just
growth,
like
Josh.
if there isn't, then it's just us coming together, which I would do anyways. But then it, just coming in like a Discord call with the 4 of us that we don't publish. I would do that.
I mean, that doesn't sound bad either. No. I don't know, man. It's all like whatever. It is what it is. I do this to hang out with you guys, and hopefully some people will find it entertaining. That's all that it matters. And the thing is that's weirdly odd about it is that, like, besides our 20 minutes of ranting at the beginning of the episodes, you would us talking about these movies are going to hold up like randomly throughout time. So like when we're long dead and they make AI versions of us, Josh, they'll have enough content to like, go.
Well, there's more than enough.
Oh yeah. I mean, between me and you doing this, my streaming, your streaming, there are archives of us being on the internet that like they have enough to claim our, like, make our personalities again. But
oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But a lot of the stuff that I was doing back in the day was me like actively putting out me being completely fucking hammered on the internet as well. Like the Rebrew was just us drinking, and then sometimes at that time, because we were like early 20s, Ben would like stay the night because we would have so many beers, and then instead of like not filming anymore, we would dress up in suits and then do like the drunk movie buzz news because we were so buzzed that we were like, hey, let's write down stupid movie. It was so dumb. And with like the green screen, and it was like newscast, but we were like overly drunk. So nothing made any sense. And yeah, whatever.
Nothing ever makes sense, Josh, especially in 2025. I was gonna say, what have you been watching? You been watching anything? I know you've been busy, so you just been anything that like catch your attention?
This movie did. I'm glad we watched it.
Yeah.
What else? No, I haven't had time to watch any other movies. I've been watching a bit of TV shows, but I'm glad that you haven't seen The Last of Us episode 1, season 2 yet either, because I haven't. I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm very excited, and I'm sure if you and I both had watched it, Opus wouldn't have probably been talked about at all. It would have been like, this is the Opus episode, and we just talk about Last of Us all.
Well, it's funny because like after playing the second game, I'm not. it's going. There's going to be an episode that happens that's going to be like people are going to talk about a lot.
It doesn't mean that they're going to, like, because they want it to be like, I think at least 4 seasons, I heard, or something like that. So they could change things.
Yeah. Yeah, if they do though, like, I don't know, it'll be weird. And I don't know, man. Fucking the last, like, so many fan bases, like, it is, I can just enjoy stuff, right? Like, most TV shows I can get through and be like, oh, I had fun with it. I mean, rarely do I get through a show and be like, oh, that was terrible. Like, that Secret Invasion show Marvel did was one of those, like, I'm just like, this is some of the worst TV making I've ever seen.
But The Last of Us had such a hype to it, especially for us Calgarians, because the amount of the city that was just like, the city was crazy all over the place, up the street from my house, all over downtown. There was like huge blocks of sets, like whole parts of our city were just fucking blocked off for months and months and months, and there was just such a production going on here that it lasted so long that you can't help living here being like, everyone was just like, the whole city shut down to watch that first episode. It's like, it's here, it's finally here. We get to see what our city looks like on HBO, and it looked fucking dope. So, you know,
that and the show, it was really well done, and like that the gay episode of that first season was some of the best television ever.
Oh, with the piano, like, that was great.
All that shit was so good, and man, I don't know, like, I really like the second game, but the second game, which they're turning into 2 seasons, I think they said, they're like, dude, it's just depressing, and it's like,
of course it's gonna be. Like, it's
dystopian,
zombies.
So I'm wondering how, like, the first season has these lines of hope, right? Like, there's like hope and love. And the reoccurring themes of the second season are way angrier and darker. And it's like,
but that's almost timely with what everything's going on right now. Like, is there a hope? There has to be hope. And Opus is not it, but still.
No, dude. You mean Hereditary or Midsummer 2, as I called it? Let's die. I was gonna say the only thing I've been really watching, I was binging Invincible season 3 this weekend, but which I really loved. So if you haven't watched Invincible, I was trying to tell Josh, but animated stuff he doesn't into or whatnot. But okay, we watched Opus from 2025, and the synopsis reads as follows: a writer travels to the compound of a pop icon who disappeared years ago, surrounded by his cult of sycophants, as well as a group of fellow journalists. She soon discovers his twisted plans for the gathering.
This is so... I'm so sad that Kin isn't here to talk about the movie that she was so excited, and watching this, knowing that she was so excited to see this and pick this for this week.
Yeah.
I watched it a little bit through the lens of Kin and then through the lens of myself. This is total Kin movie through and through, but one that I think because it has the A24 lipstick on it, it speaks more to me in like the aesthetic, it's super aesthetically pleasing way that it was filmed, that it was art directed with like the colors on screen, like like all the color theory that they threw into this, and so many things to tell visual stories and stuff. Like, it was a feast for the eyes.
Dude, John Malkovich's fucking outfits in this movie, which he wore like 18 different, like all you can say, like, if you haven't seen this movie at all, is like, just think of like Elton John extravagant kind of outfits like he's wearing throughout this whole fucking thing. And I like this movie. I think that there were problems I had with it afterwards. Like, I don't know. There are issues with like you're talking, right? Like, artistically, this movie's amazing. Like, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous to look at. Tony Hale was in like 2 scenes, and every time Tony Hale showed up, I'm like, I love Tony Hale because he's the guy from Arrested Development and everything like that, and he was so good in that as the producer or whatever. I think that
he was so good. He was so good.
I think it might have been the script, and it might have been because this movie doesn't have like enough of its own identity for me. And it's like, I think that there is a lot that to really, really like. Like Io Idbiri, is that how you say her name? I don't Idbiri. I don't know how to say her name for sure.
I'm happy to see her in a leading role because every other movie that I've seen her in she's been awesome and scene stealing, and I can't wait to see more of her because she held this movie on her shoulders and did such a good job. And
I think if it wasn't her and John Malkovich is fucking fantastic. This is like more like, this is some of the best John Malkovich I've ever seen. Like, and that's saying a lot because that dude's
perfect
always
for
good.
him.
And it's just, he's got so much charisma and he's got so much like, you see that pop star. He's supposed to play a pop star from the, like, who was the biggest pop star in the 90s and then disappeared and didn't do anything for 27 years. And you could see, man, and you're like, man, this motherfucker does have that charisma. And they have this thing where they build up this world and they build up all this hype. And they do like, what, 2 or 3 like original songs in this film that are fucking bangers. Like, just straight up bangers, man. And like, I know I don't think Malkovich sings them, but he does a really good job of like conveying he's playing them or whatnot. But
I love what they did with the light in the people's eyes. As soon as that, like, you know, the indoctrination of their brain into falling in love and being like, you know, it takes over. Then they get that like literal star in their eyes. I loved it. It was perfect.
Yeah, that was the scene where they're all like, which I want to say, they should have noticed something because that scene was like after the first guy got taken off and like got his head cut off. And they're like, yeah, he's out getting a massage. And I'm like, but there were only enough. There was like 6 of them for this album premiere that they show up to. And they only had 5 chairs. So they weren't like planning on everywhere or something. The math doesn't quite get up. And
I totally agree with you that this movie doesn't seem like story-wise it's overly the most original thing.
Yeah,
like it feels like I was trying to put all the movies that it kind of feels like it took notes obviously from Midsommar, that one with Channing Tatum and what is it called?
Oh, the sex cult one? I never saw that, but yeah, that came out last year.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that because it has like a third act kind of reveal as well as this one. And whereas this one, I think it adds to it all. The way it ends, I think solidifies it as its own thing that actually ends up working. And I left this movie going, oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I love that. I love that you did that. It works so much better now. Like, I love that it was a little bit more thought out, that you're like, kind of like, oh, wait. Okay.
The whole, like, it's not quite like an M. Night Shyamalan kind of ending, but it's like that thing where they set up, like, how did 200 bodies disappear? And then John Malkovich kind of, I don't even know quite how he.
Oh, wait. I just watched back to back. Oh, wait. I watched Novocaine. That's the one that I watched. And it was fucking good. And it had that one girl, the Aboriginal girl from the Predator movie, Prey.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's in this movie, but she's also in Novocaine as well. And
was she the fucking one that looked like the one that was her
handler
or whatever?
Yeah, her handler.
I didn't realize that was Prey because I was like, why is Timu Aubrey Plaza chasing her around this home? She looks like Aubrey Plaza, the one
that's what made me remember, because I was like, oh shit, I'm watching. Her name is Amber Midthunder. Yeah. So she was in this. She was in Novocaine, and she was in Prey. So she tied my weekend together because I watched Novocaine on Friday night, and then I watched Opus on Saturday morning or something. And I was like, oh shit, it's that same chick again. And she came out kind of nowhere on Prey. And I'm so happy to see her in a bunch of movies now too, because she is fantastic as well.
Dude.
She was really good in this. She's got that like menacing face.
Yeah, she has no dialogue. She just has that thing where she's just staring at you intense in every scene she's in. And it's like such a necessary thing because it's like she's just like there's so many people in this movie that are just completely fucking creepazoid. Like the guy who picks him up at the airport. You know what, dude? And I knew it wasn't, but the one guy,
you're hiding behind your own name right now. It's kind of weird.
Oh, okay. The one native guy, his name was Najee in the movie. It was Tanka Means. I was like, this motherfucker isn't the one. I kept thinking he was one of the guys from like Shoresy, like one of the like the hockey. I was like, that's not him, and I knew it wasn't because I looked it up. But like, I was like, damn, and dude, like, I have to say I was a little weird. Like Juliette Lewis kind of seemed like she mailed it in a little bit, like. And I don't know if that was the character, and she was kind of playing like this. I don't know. There's this whole thing about like old like people that weren't like super connected, and also I want to talk that fucking scene, the very end scene with her, where she gets partially scalped, was one of the silliest things in this movie of silly. I'm like, how are you just pulling off her scalp like just like grabbing under her head? Like I was like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know how hard it is to scalp someone?
Played it up like that she had a wig on and this and that, and then that's what happens. I was like, is that our payoff? And that was the like foreshadowing that they kept doing, like it was really tight or something. Like I'm like, it wasn't a good enough payoff for that character or for anything that happened prior.
And I think that's part of the problem I had with this. Like, I did enjoy this, but like the horror elements of this movie were not done well, like at all. Like besides, like it was like they built up atmosphere, like it was like thriller stuff, but like the grossest thing in this whole movie was when the Asian chick popped out of the beanbag chair, which was ridiculous in itself, and the shit popped into John Malkovich's eye. But like. They're like, this bitch would have suffocated like 10 minutes ago or whatever. They like.
It reminded me of that Shudder movie that we did where it kept like growing over the face thing. Like, so like, but in like a way more grotesque kind of way. And this is a more realistic way of how that would kind of play out. Like everything is just like expanding. Anything that had, what do you say? Anything juicy is no longer juicy or something. It's just sucking up. Oh, like, but saying it like that too, I think adds to the tone of this movie, but then also describes it more horrific and adds to the horrificness of what we were actually seeing. It's just like, ooh.
I don't know about you. It's like the reason why I call it Midsummer too, because like the horror elements of this like are just so like when she goes into the shucking room, which by the way reminded me of the bear, bear 100%. Hut from Midsummer,
100%.
And she
They were doing a lot of like what was done well in other movies. Let's take that and put it in a different context in ours. And it felt like it was like for sure.
Yeah, it was like they didn't have that like the horror elements. They didn't know what to do. Like and then they but like borrowed
that's
so
what movies do
stuff.
now. Like even when we were talking about it's what's inside. It felt like a more polished version of other movies that didn't do it so well, but that one took all of the things and made its own little seasoning mix out of it.
It was just odd because of like all the really good things in this movie, right? Like we were talking about John Malkovich and Io Beery or whatever, however you say her name. Like they do such a great job in this movie of like acting in their roles of like this like former pop star and then this young like up and coming journalist who's trying to find a place. I actually liked her boss a lot too, who like was played by Mark.
He was all right. He was a dumbass, kind of a
but
piece
like,
of shit. But
it's like I don't know. It's that thing where like that kind of shit was believable to me, and like, dude, like the scene where he gets shot by an arrow, and it's just like this little kid's like, "Oh, sorry, my boat, I lost my grip," and I'm like, really. It's like so much of this movie is really well done, and it's just like I like, and then you find out like the one like there's that thing where like the one lady saves her like or helps her escape, right? And then you're just like, oh, this was all a giant ploy all along, to make people know about it, because that was basically what John Malkovich wanted this woman to write the book, right? It was what happened, and and so like there's this whole setup where it was like, okay, we're gonna kill 5 people and then disappear into the thin air, and John Malkovich is gonna sit there and be a pimp on his guitar or his piano or whatever he was doing, and he gets sent to jail, and it's just all this like giant. You know what that ending kind of reminded me of? The Invitation.
Oh
yeah, The Invitation.
Yeah. 100%. But that's where like there's so many things, but I'm sure, like in talking, like they had to have done something like this. It's just like, okay, everyone at this round table, give me your favorite parts of this type of niche. And then we're just going to copy it, all of them, but put it in one movie. So then it's ours.
Well, and that's the thing, right? It's not that like doing that's bad. Like we said, like you were talking about, like there's no such thing as an original idea. It's just like when it doesn't feel like your idea, right? Like when it doesn't feel like you put your spin on it, when it doesn't feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this in a way that this movie is completely like stands out.
Yeah, they showed him shucking. But then they also showed her go back in, and there was something in the floor, and then it was never like, I don't think it was enough of a thing. Whereas in Midsummer, they made those places like actual living, breathing things in the movie. Like the back of the wall told the whole fucking story of the movie. It literally could not have not been there. Whereas this one was just like, we liked that they had that in the other movie. Now it's in ours, and it does feel that way.
It almost feels like this film was like, they were like, oh, we're gonna tell this story about like this guy who was a former pop singer, and he's gonna come back after 27 years, and that was gonna be the plot. And then they're like, but that won't sell. We need to make it a horror movie, and like so they threw in the cold stuff. I don't know, like it's that thing where like, and I was okay. It's funny because I was looking at it.
No, that's a discovery of that blue sky meeting they were having, where they're like, no ideas are bad ideas. So where has he been? And they're like, oh, it'd be great. Kool-Aid. I just watched the first episode of Studio as well, actually.
I heard that was really good.
The first episode is about they got the rights to make a Kool-Aid movie, and they want to make it like fucking. They're like, well, Mario made billions. Let's just make Kool-Aid make billions. And then Scorsese has a new film, and he wants to do like the cult thing where everyone dies from Kool-Aid, but they just got the rights to make Kool-Aid. And then Seth Rogen's like, oh, I got Scorsese to do the Kool-Aid movie. But it's like, this is it.
What's funny is because like one of the things that we were talking about, I looked at it. I didn't, I don't try to look at these things, but like it stood out. This movie's Rotten Tomato scores are as follows. It's rotten with a 41% by critics, and the audience is only 58%. It's like this movie's kind of been like shit on a bunch, and I don't think that's shit it on. I don't think that's completely unfair, to be honest, because like forever.
I don't know. I'm definitely more on the audience side. Like I was gonna say, I was like, okay. I was entertained enough, and that's hard for me lately. Like, cause like it was. I think because it had enough eye candy, and I was looking at like, oh man, all these colors are intentionally put on screen right now, and you don't see that enough. And I love. I've been an art director for too long, so like, every decision I make on my camera. And these colors and like that, my grid wall behind me, those are all art direction and production design and like intentional things that I overly appreciate. So it dings it up a bit more for me. I agree. The horror elements, I was like, I'm glad there are some horror elements. I'm glad that there was enough of a dinner. I always analogize movies as like the meal. And there was enough of a meal that I was like satisfied with backstories overarching of some characters and like how it got to the horrific parts. but I agree. The stumble on the horrific parts doesn't satisfy me as a horror lover. And
yeah,
yeah,
I think I think a lot of it was with me was like I left it pretty happy, but like it was this weird thing where this movie like I thought about this movie the next couple hours a lot after finishing it.
Yes,
and
it's doing something right if you are in that mindset.
But it wasn't always in a good way. Like I think as I thought about it more, I had more like problems with like how a lot of it went.
But I think a movie like this leaves itself to potential more conversations, and that is, in my opinion, what you have to do nowadays is leave it to an audience to have a conversation. I know they wrapped it up kind of a little nicer, but not so much in a bow because of how they did end it. And that's where I was like, oh, you just put a cherry on top for me. I like that. Okay, cool. All right,
dude,
cool.
they definitely left it where if this movie had done really well, which I don't think it did, because it wasn't even in a lot of theaters, right? It was like one of those movies that kind of got like a limited release.
But that's every movie nowadays. You can, if you see a movie come out, it's going to be on streaming in like 2 to 3 weeks. Like that's just the window now.
If it's, okay, we're going to sidetrack because this is Josh and Rod and ADHD. Have you seen how the insane kids were acting during the Minecraft screenings, dude?
No.
And like every single Minecraft screening is turned into like teenage boys like throwing popcorn and yelling chicken jockey. They just like they've turned it into like you know how like when Sony tried to turn Morbius into a meme and it fell flat on their face?
Minions did. Minions turned into a meme. That kids dressing up in suits.
But way worse. Like way worse. Like at this point on I don't know why they're doing this on 420. This had to have been some marketing too. So next Sunday, the 20th of April, which is the
it's Easter as well.
And Easter.
Hitler's birthday.
They're doing a day where Regal's doing a thing where they're encouraging kids to come in and scream and hoop and holler, and like there are so many videos, dudes, of just like kids throwing popcorn, throwing sodas, throwing shit in this. Like every single screening of this movie seems like it's insane, and I'm just like, huh. And
it'll make billions. It will make billions.
Oh, dude, it's. I think it's already made a shit ton of movie. It made $300 million its first weekend, and it's, it is very much like you're sitting there going, "What is happening in this?" Like, I don't know, man. I'm not like against people enjoying movies. I just think making the fucking poor people making
it's already made $550 million.
Yep, 2 weekends. 2 weekends, and it's did that. Yep.
Dude,
it's weird, man, because it's like I don't know. It's funny because A24 has like kind of lost a lot of its luster lately, and
they're putting out a lot more movies, and they're getting into Midtown. Like everything they do now, it's like Netflix style movies. They're just mid. Yeah.
Well, dude, I mean, what have they done this year? They did this and
the unicorn. I don't know what Death of a Unicorn. You saw it. You said it wasn't good.
Yeah, no, I didn't say it wasn't good. I don't think it was
a horror movie.
It wasn't a horror movie, one, but two, it was the thing where it was like it felt like half concocted, kind of like this movie. They're starting to do Blumhouse movies, dude. Like they're doing Blumhouse movies, like just a little bit less shitty. Like this isn't I don't know, man. Like there's a lot to like in this movie. It's just like it was one of those times where it's like you get an appetizer. You talk about meals, right? You get an appetizer that's really good, and then the main course sucks. Like you get like,
but this movie, I haven't seen Death of a Unicorn yet. I do want to see it. I think it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to come through, like, because I am agreeing with you for sure. But this movie definitely has more of an A24 polish to it.
Yeah. But dude, like you were saying, I think that the biggest problem with this movie is the script. Like the photography, like everything in this movie is just really well done. The acting is really well done. Like the cinematography is really well done. Everything about this movie besides the script, and it's not like it's the worst script ever. It's just like, it's that thing where it's like, you had us, and you just like, it seems like the script was the last thing you thought about, which is weird because, man, you just let John Malkovich eat and you let her eat, and you just like, you have this acting that's really cool and a concept, and it's just like, you don't have like, man, it's just, yeah, it's, I don't know. I think Ken
It's
might
age,
actually,
what- She could slip in and give her 5 cents. This would be a perfect thing for her to just come in and be like, all right, it's now Kin's moment to opus it up. Opus it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's the thing where like, we're more critical than I know, because she said she loved it. And I'm glad, because it's like, you always say
We're
like,
not
when we
shitting
have
on it whatsoever.
No.
But I think we're giving it
it's,
a good actual conversation.
yeah, and I think you saying mid was just a perfect example of like how this movie was like, it's like, there is so much good, but there's also things that to not like in the film, you know? And it's
I
just
feel
like,
like back in the day, maybe like 3-4 years ago, when A24 was still making less movies and they were still a little more hands-on with it needs to feel a certain way for us to be an A24 film. I feel like they have an understanding, and there could be more people involved now, and the understanding is getting diluted. Whereas like they have their bag of tricks. It's like, no, we will overproduce on certain areas and make an A24 looking, but then if it's not fully feeling, then I think you're missing something.
They've said it. They want to hit they want to be more like Blumhouse. They want that broader audience. They're trying to move away from the pure art house thing.
They want to make money. It goes right back to, like, honestly, I've only watched the first episode. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's chaotic. It's super like California for sure, and the way that they, it's like almost like a oneer. I think I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. But
you know me,
and you. We probably watch very similarly. We're so distracted as we're watching that I wouldn't have even noticed. But
well, yeah, it's very much like you need action sequences. You need whatever. You need something to like maintain my attention. Like that's like why I was telling you about like Invincible, because like they get to the point where it builds up a lot during the seasons, and then the last couple episodes they're like, last season there's just people getting cut in half and smashed, and
I just love disappointing people. I think when it comes to, like, I have so many people telling me to watch this cartoon and that cartoon, and I just go, but then if
well,
and then I walk away.
It's funny because it goes back to like what you talk about, like you're talking about Seth Rogen. This is another one of the things that Seth Rogen's been doing, that's like bringing that more adult content, especially when the superhero shit.
He's so fucking good, man. I love to see what he's grown into, because he is a professional. And I saw an interview with what's her name in it, the Canadian. But
I don't know who's the cast of that
she's from Schitt's Creek and Home Alone and stuff.
Oh, her, yeah. What's her name?
But then
and Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Catherine O'Hara. O'Hara.
And she was doing an interview saying like, I can't believe that he just smokes weed all day. Like, I didn't even know. Like, he is producing, he is the main star, he has written it. He is doing so many things, wearing so many hats, and he's such a fucking professional that like you couldn't even tell that he is the guy who's actually high all the time doing this. But he's found a way to make it a thing that just fucking works for him. So he's a pro. Oh, look at this. Kin's here. But wait.
No,
oh no. I put you over here. Oh, Kin's here, so she just takes over for Rod's spot. Oh, there we go.
I mean, she has more nice things to say than I do, so it's okay. It's Kim, we were saying it's perfect timing because we were talking about a lot of bullshit, but we were talking about how we were both like, this movie is very much adamant, or very much visible of like how A24 is trying to do more in like kind of a Blumhouse thing, where they're pumping out more movies and more things. Because both Josh and I are saying that there's really a lot like this movie, and the horror elements of us. We both kind of stumbled on the horror elements of it, and so we know how much you love it and how much you love the cult stuff. So come in and you would just talk about what you thought of it, and you can take over for a couple minutes.
I think that first of all, yeah. Hi, sorry, I fell asleep and
we assumed it's all good.
Just woke up and I was like, oh, but normally my phone rings when Rod FaceTime. So I don't know what happened. Anyway, hi. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with this. It's definitely one that's not like super scary necessarily.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, even if you think about it from the, are there other facets of this that could be scary? The overall thing for me that was like the scariest part is we as a society, definitely myself included, have really turned to like worshiping, and by worshiping I don't mean this in a religious sense, serial killers, celebrities, everybody,
politicians now.
Politicians, and like just like it's just publicity for them at all times. And so the very end of this, when they're sitting there, I rewatched it because I at first I thought that I didn't hear it right or something, just because I don't know. And
just waking up.
Just waking up. When he said what he says at the very end, I was like, oh damn.
Loved.
Like,
I loved that they did that.
Yeah, like she's started this entire information on this movement. They're hidden everywhere. You're always having to watch your back now. Like,
I had to ask him because I was telling Josh that the ending reminded me of The Invitation.
I still haven't seen it. At least I don't think. Okay, then. Because there's one that I have seen.
That's the couple goes up to the dinner party and ends up being that a bunch of them are kind of culty. And how it might be a good.
Yeah. That's the one with what's her name in it?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch that one yet. That one.
Oh God, Ken, that's right up your alley. That is right. The ending of that movie reminds me of this in a spirit kind of thing of like, and we were talking about earlier about how this could like it leaves it open for a sequel because of the like of the cult being there and like. And basically using her to tell their story. I mean, that's like this whole movie's like the premise is like, right? They set up this like the murders of these 5 people so that this woman will go out and write this book, because that was the thing about the whole movie that really doesn't make sense till the very, very end is the main character. You're like, why did she get invited to this? Like everyone else gets invited for very specific reasons. They have connections to this guy, or they're like, influential because like the
that's the one thing that this movie did well as a movie, because you're supposed to ponder and wander and not overly know all these things and like have a reveal, and the fact that it wasn't answered until the very, very end adds to that. I honestly did not see that coming, and fucking I was like I was saying to Rod earlier, I was like But I loved aesthetically how they were doing everything and all that stuff. And I had a good time with this because that put the points up for me. Even though it stumbled with some of the horrific elements, the way it ended, I was like, I got up and was like, okay.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I will say, like, some of the elements, speaking of like the horror elements and stuff, I have this thing, eyeballs. I don't know what it is. And like, we've been in the last few years of eyeballs, but damn, that was so great. That whole scene was phenomenal. I am so sorry.
No, you know what? Josh told me that I didn't realize, Ken, that her stalker, her chick was the chick from Prey.
But then her handler.
Her handler was the chick from Prey. And I was just like,
because I just watched her I just watched Novocaine the night before, and she was in that as like the love interest / whatever, the antagonist or like girl, but then whatever thing. And then I was like, wait a second, she's in this too. So she was like, it was just a weekend of nothing but her, and I was like, oh, that's the chick from Prey. That's sick. So I'm happy to see the lead actress in this getting a lead actress role because she's fucking rad. happy to see the chick from Prey in more movies as well, because she's fucking rad as well. And I feel like we're gonna see a lot more of the two of them, and that makes me happy because they're both phenomenal. But then
I love the lead actress for this because she was in The Bear. Fucking amazing. Like she is so good.
I watched her in Omni Loop.
Huh. No, I haven't seen her in that. I didn't know that she was in Inside Out too.
Dude, I really hope, to be honest, that John Malkovich gets a Best Supporting Actor nod for this. I know it won't because nobody's going to see this movie, and it like didn't get what. Like God,
she was in Bottoms as well. That movie was fucking hilarious.
I was thinking that one of the like everything about this movie I think Juliette Lewis kind of felt like she like phoned in her performance, but like everyone else was really, really good. And it was one of the things, Ken, where it felt like none of the horror elements were very original. Like that's why I was joking about it being Midsummer 2, and like especially the ending in the movie, like where people started disappearing and stuff, and the ridiculous scene of the chick coming out of the beanbag's hair was like I was like, no, this bitch would have died. She would have suffocated like an hour ago or days ago, however long she had been like, choking on her gigantic fat tongue, that I'm just like, this bitch would have had it like died and like been dead. And I'm like, God, everything else like in this was just like it. I was actually kind of suggesting to Josh Kin that like someone had suggested they make this movie with John Malkovich, and they were like, "This is gonna sell, so we need to make it a horror movie." And like shut down. Like,
the Blue Sky meeting for this was, let's steal a whole bunch of your favorite parts from a bunch of different movies and put it into one, and then lipstick A24 on it. But the lipstick was nice. I liked it. I love lipstick.
Yeah. Ken, I know with all your like your cult listening, your true crime stuff and all that stuff, was there stuff in this that like stood out to you with all the stuff you've listened to? Because I know stuff about Jonestown like is out there and everything like that.
Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid and what?
Not actually Kool-Aid. It was the other one. Sorry.
Oh, it was Tang
or whatever.
No, it was. Wow, now I can't remember.
Yeah, but I just watched The Studio, and Scorsese was on
Flavor Aid.
Flavor Aid.
Wait, no, not Flavor Aid. Wait.
I mean, they were in South America, right? So it's not. They probably didn't have access to all the shit that was like right around there.
Yeah, no, I think it was Flavor Aid.
Did you ever see the movie that
Flavor Aid? Yeah.
They made with Vice, where they basically recreated the Eli Roth movie, where they recreated Jonestown, and it was Jonestown, but not Jonestown.
Is that what's called Vice?
No, Vice is the news network.
Oh, okay.
Vice horror movie. I forget what the fuck it was called. Oh, The Sacrament.
That sounds familiar. If not, I'm going to.
It was like another thing, because I'm thinking about what we watch next week. But like that was that movie's really good, but it was Jonestown. Just didn't call it Jonestown. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that. That looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna go on to a fucking The Sacrament.
But then
it was Eli Roth or.
But then
let's see who directed that. Yeah, no, it's Ty West. That was the last movie Ty West made before he came back.
Eli Roth presents.
Yeah. But yeah, was there stuff in this that really stood out as like, you talk about how we like, take people and put them up on those pedestals. Like, I think that you take it and look at like Taylor Swift is probably the most obvious example of it in America right now. But like, was there stuff in there that's like stood out to you as like seeming realistic and like from all the cult stuff that you're into, like, interested in learning about?
Wow, that was like 17 different directions.
Yeah, that was the most ADHD question I've ever.
I don't even know
17.
how to answer that.
Okay, no.
So
was it realistic, or was it things that stood out to you like as that reminded you of like true real life events or anything like that? Like,
well, I mean, yeah, they're definitely, you've got a lot of different cult elements that are bedded in. I immediately thought of Jared Leto's cult, like right off the bat, because I mean, obviously he's a musician, Jesus.
I'm not-
So like
that just reminded
What?
me so much of that fucking TikTok interview. What did you just call me? I am not a magician. I didn't call you a magician. I called you a musician, and that's what you are. It was like Lizzo or something. Did you see that?
No, but that's amazing. What the fuck?
It was the best fuck. If I find it, I'm gonna send it your way, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is wrong with?"
That's amazing. But no, oh shit. Where was I?
No, you were talking about how it reminded you of Jared Leto.
Yeah, Jared Leto for sure. And I think, yeah, as soon as I saw the preview, immediately I was like, is this about Jared Leto? Is this a combination of Jared Leto and Heaven's Gate? Is this like what is going on? I was super excited for this one. But yeah, I mean, like there's obviously like a bunch of real life linkages, I suppose, but like I don't think I've really answered that question. I had something
That's
to throw
okay.
in there, but I just woke up.
Well, I'm just checking it your way because I want to make sure you got to like. That's why I said come talk, because Josh and I had bullshit about a lot of the stuff with this, and it was like I don't want it to come across because I like this movie. I was telling Josh that like a lot of the problem I had with this movie was like afterwards I kept thinking about certain things. I'm like, well, this kind of pissed me off. Like a lot of the horror elements specifically, like.
They did a phenomenal job with making you hate the characters.
Yeah.
Like absolutely phenomenal. I know that you guys were talking about Juliette Lewis like not really liking her performance.
Yeah.
But I thought she killed it because it's very much just like I'm just here. Like of course I'm here. Like so it almost seems like lax or lackadaisical or whatever, but it's definitely she is nailing what that character is to me. John Malkovich scared the fuck out of me.
Oh, dude, he's so good in that.
That scene where he's on stage and they're on stage with him in that little warehouse and he's playing his music and like pretending to fuck the one girl and everything else. I was like,
oh my God,
what in the fever dream is this? And it was so great because it made me uncomfortable, which I know was its goal. I was so uncomfortable
because we're seeing it through the lens of the lead actress, and she's the only one that isn't like getting that literal star in her eye like everyone else is, and we aren't as an audience, and it plays so loud. I was like, oh my, I was cringing like,
oh yeah. Well, and that's the great thing about her as well, because at no point in time did I feel like she was truly starstruck to the point of it kind of like changing her character.
Yeah.
And like I love the fact that you know, they're sitting by the pool and she's just sitting there asking him questions where other people are like all skittish, because it reminds me of when I went to my first big convention, I was like freaking out. No, it was a different convention. This actually happened twice. So the first one, I was at my first convention and I got all antsy and I went into the Twitch partner booth and I sat down and somebody asked me how I was doing. And I was like, oh, you know, this is just a lot. This is my first one, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, and like, they were super supportive and really nice. And I was like, oh, cool, you know? And so they got up and left and like a whole bunch of people followed them. And I asked the friend I was with, I was like, who is that? And then they told me, and it was like a really huge Twitch partner that I was like, oh, oops.
Yeah.
And then another time I was having like, I was on the verge of a complete and total nervous breakdown, like scared shitless. All this stuff was going on. I was in a green room getting ready to go on stage for something. And this person I had never met sat down and asked me how I was doing. And I was like, well, not great. Do you have a moment? And they were like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay. And I spilled my entire life to this person. No clue who they were.
That's ADHD right there.
Oh yeah. It was Proton John, which is like a huge Smash Bros person and like does like a whole bunch of other stuff, but he's really big and I had no idea. And we got done and I was like, oh, we stayed in touch after that. Like he was always super nice. But like I feel like those moments, the difference is that once I learned who they were, I got kind of like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. She knew who he was and did not give a shit. Was like, oh yeah, I guess I should be like a little bit more nervous, but
that's the like Gen Z thing though. Like, I don't know if she's truly Gen Z or not, but that's like, I think that's it speaks more to that generation than anything else. It's just like, who the fuck are you? You're not Mr. Beast, so why the fuck? Like, nobody cares who you are. You're not,
Do you think that stems from the fact that people are more easily accessible, like celebrities are more easily accessible nowadays than when we were younger?
Yeah. There's not that,
I think
like,
so. They're more mysterious. They're mysterious when you can't get a hold of them whenever, and you don't know what they're doing 24/7, and they're not on YouTube, they're not on Twitter, they're not. And I do like how she did give him props. She's like, your new song was amazing, kind of like, she was telling him how much she dug it, but she wasn't like blowing him over
fangirling.
it. Yeah. No, there is a lot to really enjoy in this film. Like the cult stuff they hired a lot of creepy people. I was telling Josh how much I love Tony Hale, who played the producer or whatever, the agent
from Arrested Development.
From Arrested Development.
I just love seeing him. I miss him. Yeah. He was always so funny, and he plays that type of role so fucking well. Yeah. Just like, he knocked that one.
Now Brian's here. We have what is the weirdest podcast of all time?
Whatever. It works. Boom. Look at this. I have it all set up.
I just woke up.
I literally set up just the two of us. Then I set up the three of us, and I had it all set up with the poster in all three, so it could happen.
We're like a talk show where we have guests, and Ken was the first guest, and Brian was the second guest.
That's right.
Brian, what was your thoughts of this movie? Did you watch it?
You didn't even watch
I didn't have time to watch it.
Okay.
Well, that's why he shows up now to say hi. It's not just Team BJ.
Yeah, I was asking him how much you guys were giving me a shit last week, and he said you gave me a lot.
You should have listened to the episode. You would know.
I haven't yet. I have.
No, I told you he wasn't going to listen to it. You don't tell him to listen to it, because I said it so many times in the episode. We were fucking just giving. I was just destroying you, Rod. Don't listen. Please don't.
I knew why I didn't listen, because I knew that you two fuckers are going to sit there and bust my balls because I wanted to pay.
You have no more balls because of that episode. They're
in the
gone.
most loving way.
Oh yeah, no. You know me. I got Canadian after I did it. I was like, but we love you, Rod. Come on.
So he gave you the most half-assed ball busting of all time, Brian. He's like, and then Brian just. Oh, I can't really.
I gave him a licking. I said, "Fuck you, Brian. What the fuck, you fucking piece of shit." But also, I had to do that because I did it to Rod last week. So there you go.
Good times.
It was good to see you, Brian. You beautiful boy. No, I think that
and Kin just gets nothing but love. She was not here, but we're like,
Kin
hey,
miss literally every. She could miss 5 episodes in a row, show up once on every 6th week or whatever, and we would never make fun of her. We would never give her a hard time.
We're happy to have you.
Love her.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be.
So we were talking, and then Brian, maybe you want to have a comment on this, because now we kind of get into this kind of a cult thing. Before we do that, I wanted to ask you real quick, Brian, what was your thoughts of Tokyo Gore Police, because you had never seen Power Rangers splatter porn?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. I really liked it. Cool.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just watch the episode, Rod.
You should listen to the episode. You would.
You piece of shit.
You asshole.
Fucking love you, Rod.
So now I've had 2 movies in my thought process, because now we're doing cult things, and Ken will love all of these things. And the 2 things I'm thinking about are The Sacrament, which is the Ty West Jonestown movie, Brian, if you've ever seen it, and then The Invitation, which has.
I haven't seen either, so I'm down for.
Yeah, I'm down for one of those.
So I'm the only one seeing both those movies. Damn. Okay, let's do Sacrament. No. Let's do The Invitation, then we'll do The Sacrament after that, and do just a cult of stretch of cult movies.
Hell yeah.
I'm down.
This Brian,
we should watch Cobra.
It's not a horror movie.
No, Brian, we were saying though, like this movie it has a lot of really, really good aspects of it, but we were talking about how it's kind of feels like A24 trying to mass produce movies on like the quality level that they used to like spit out movies at a regular basis when they were like doing like one movie a year, and now they're doing 3 or 4 movies.
Yeah,
a
this
year
is
to make
not
more money.
Moonlight. Wait, was that just Moon? Yeah, it was
Midsummer?
Moon, right?
Oh,
No, I'm
never
talking
mind.
about A24 when they won Best Picture over La La
Yeah.
Land.
That was,
Like,
I think it
Moonlight.
was Moonlight.
Moonlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is definitely not Moonlight like level of filmmaking or anything, but it's
Dude, but we were saying John Malkovich is amazing in this.
John Malkovich
Brian,
is
and
pretty much amazing in 90% of the shit he does.
yeah, and the chick from Praise in this, Brian. So
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I saw that. And like I said, it definitely looks like something I would want to watch. I haven't had time. I've been busy.
I was gonna tell you, Brian, because I didn't see you last week. I went out. I had someone of my mods went and saw that movie that you love, the Lady in the Backyard, and then I went on a 5-minute rant about it, even though I'd never seen it. And she goes, at the end of it, she goes, "You mean?" And then it's like said a bunch of things. I was like, "Yep." And then she got mad and then hated the movie after I like ruined it for her.
Oh, you were one of those people. Huh?
Only when certain movies do certain things, and that movie did something that, like, when you glorify certain things, I get mad, and that movie did it.
Okay, fair.
Yep.
You need to watch the movie.
I will, but I'm not gonna enjoy it. As soon as Josh puts it on Plex, I'll check it out. But
which one?
The Woman in the Yard.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Ken,
no, I
there
will, but
yeah. Ken, is there anything else you want to say about this before we wrap up since you came in and woke up and
since you've been gone?
I was like, did a snowstorm kill Ken, or is she just having like the next thought was that cats had like tied her up like from the ceiling, and they like that's why
it's
she
snow or tying up from the ceiling, like that's where you go. Nothing in between.
I finished the stream, so like in my time zone, I finished the stream. I vacuumed, cleaned the cat boxes, made pancakes, and then so like 2-ish my time, 2:15. Cats was like, "Hey, let's go take a nap," and I was like, "All right." So we laid down and we were watching TikToks, and the next thing I know, I woke up and it was 5, and
I had called her like
all
9
these
times.
missed calls, and I was like, "Why did it not go?" Because normally it goes off.
Yeah.
So
I was busting her balls. I'm like, okay, Ken's having shibari sex from the ceiling and can't come to this podcast. And we knew Brian wasn't coming, and now we are here. And now we're here with our 2 guests, Kintinue and Brian.
All that matters.
thank you for having us.
We had a good time though. No, again, Brian, I think it would be interesting to see there's a lot to like this movie. It kind of stumbles on the horror elements, but
it's
watching
fun. It's got enough girth that you don't feel unsatisfied after it. There's girth.
Girth.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I am gonna probably go to the movies tonight. Maybe I'll go ahead and get this one. This one's still playing at the theater.
Oh, is it?
On the street. Yeah. I could.
Alma never had. The Alma in my house only has like 10 screens though, so it doesn't play a lot of the smaller things like this that don't.
Or you could just watch it for free. No, I don't know.
I was telling Josh.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he's got the pack. Did you guys hear? Did you 2 hear about the Minecraft screenings where kids are just going insane during them?
Yeah, I heard that it's something that they do on the in the YouTube videos that people make where they like throw shit.
Yeah,
so they've just been throwing popcorn and drinks and stuff everywhere, like during one particular scene.
Yelling chicken jockey and just being like insane people. So I was like, this is why I only go to Alamo Draft House. So
fuck.
This is why I go late as fuck.
Well, you're also a third shifter, Brian. So you're like a vampire.
Would not fucking matter.
Yeah.
I hate going to the movie theater with other people's kids because I beat the fucking dumbassery out of mine. And nobody else did theirs.
Yeah.
So I'm just kidding. I didn't beat my kids.
Also,
Not hard.
This movie, I was kind of saying it before, but like all the supporting characters in the movie are extremely creepy. And like, I was looking at IMDb, and I'm like, every single other person in this movie, you're like, oh, they would actually join a cult. Like, that's the kind of vibe they all pull off. And I'm like, they did very good. And like, yeah, but so we'll do the invitation next week. I think you guys will like that. It's a lot smaller scale thing, kind of like this, but like, and then we'll look at, because I didn't want to move right into Sacrament, because Sacrament it's Jonestown. It's Jonestown. So like you'll know when I see it. So Brian, I'm glad you came up and popped up for a little bit, because I love your face.
Me too. We're talking about the one from 2015, correct?
No, I think it was like last year.
We're not talking about the bad vampire one.
No, that's it was from it was 2015. Yep. Fantastic.
Because there's two. With there's a Dracula vampire-y thingy that came out.
Yeah, that is the guy in this is really hot too. It's Logan
2015
Marshall Green.
The guy in the 2022 one was hot too.
But Logan Marshall Green does this. He's a very good looking dude. He reminds me of the guy from
whatever.
Kind of reminds me of Dan Stevenson, kind of like got that vibe. But yeah. So yeah. So we'll do that next week. The invitation from 2015. So okay. Brian, since you just got here, you wanna you have you guys recorded in Candyman yet? Or is that the number?
No, we might be on an extended break. I think I think things got super busy for Isaiah, and then honestly Warren's getting ready to be gone for several days because he's going to Vegas. I don't know if you guys know what's going on this weekend in Vegas.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania.
Yes, that's where he's going. He's got tickets for both nights.
Nice.
And yeah, he jerked off in a cup every week for the past 10 years to save up so he could go.
I can't even imagine how much money that costs.
They actually, it is expensive, but they actually offer like really, really cool payment plans so you can go to WrestleMania. They make it actually pretty easy for just even like, regular blue collar folks to be able to afford to do something like that. Because that's that's what they did. He just right when they released the tickets for sale, he read about it and jumped on and then got them, and then just bit by bit made payments. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, you had to make them on time and everything.
Yeah.
And you usually have to do that to buy things.
Yeah, usually you do. They cut his water off, like he missed a payment and they cut his water off. It was weird, So, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was really strange. It was like one has nothing to do with the other.
I will say this will be the next about 15 seconds might be the only time that any of these words kind of come out of my mouth. I actually do appreciate the whole Kid Rock getting Trump to sign the thing to go after the ticket scalper bots.
Oh,
and
that's,
I don't know if it's going to do anything. And that was as close to a nice thing as that fucking Nazi is ever going to hear out of my mouth.
Because he thinks that people aren't buying his tickets. All right.
Is that? I mean,
he thinks that people aren't his people aren't able to buy his tickets. That's what he thinks. That's what he thinks, that the people that listen to his
music, not the case. It's just he hasn't been relevant in 20 years.
What he doesn't realize is nobody wants to fucking go see Kid Rock.
And I'm okay with that. But guess what? If they actually get rid of new ticket bots and do something about it, they won't.
Yeah, I would love that. I would fucking love that too. As a music fan and musician, I would absolutely love that. But
like the one problem though is they can't. We're losing a lot of international bands and stuff from coming into the States right now. So
yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
They're getting tariffed too.
No, they're getting arrested.
Arrested, and it's already. I don't know if you know about like what it costs a band to come into America to tour. It is not cheap at all. Like the visas they have to pay for those are like $3,500 a person or something like that. So they're having to pay for that for their like entire crew and shit like that. So yeah, it's not, none of that shit is cheap. So like, I think it's all insane, and I think whatever. But that was like the most positive thing I could say about it. They probably won't have anything happen out of it, but yeah. So you reminded me. Ken, how is your your weed empire going, Ken? Ken has a
Oh, it's
weed
going great.
empire.
I started meth. I started making meth. I made
What game you
donut
playing?
infused meth, Schedule 1.
Oh fuck yeah, I'm buying it.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. You start out like selling weed and picking up trash to make money, and then you just
always
make more
wanted
and
to
more
do that for a
complex
living.
strains of weed, and you hire a dealer and you buy places. It's a blast. Tomorrow I'm going to start my money laundering business while
Fuck yes.
trying new meth, and I'm working towards making coke. So we'll see how that goes.
I got to the point
What's
where
the
they yell at me about how much money I could deposit into my ATM.
Oh yeah, I'm there.
And then it's like I'm not worrying about my one weed dealer. And then I literally was going to listen to you about how you have to make a $60 weed strain, and I had not enough money to buy the shit to make the $60 weed strain because I had like $70 in cash, and I can't. And you have to put money in your ATM to get like, or I have like $70 in my ATM, and you have to use your ATM card to like, buy the stuff at the convenience store. And yeah, it's not been going well for me. So that's Kintinue.com.
Then just pick up trash and then buy enough to get basic, just like a couple plants going and sell those, just raw dog those out.
Raw dog the fuck out of it.
You can't put the money into your fucking bank account, and you need the bank account to buy certain things.
Whatever.
You can buy things from all kinds of different skeezy places. You don't have to buy it with your thing.
Yeah, that's what I have to figure out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kim is teaching me how to do drugs too. It's Kintinue.com and STDmotel.com and STDhotel.com. And you follow Ken and come hang out because their community is awesome. And I was at work all morning and Mr. Drug Dealing.
And I walked 10 miles today on stream, so we back.
Jesus, Ken. Fucking
nice.
Wait a minute, like you physically walked 10 miles?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got my
treadmill.
treadmill set
That
up
would
back up.
kill
So
me.
yesterday I did 5, today I did 10, the other day I did 8.
That would fucking kill me.
So I just get
I would
started
have
in the
a heart
morning
attack
and
in the middle of the. I wouldn't.
Dude, I was telling him, Ken, that like I set up my tent on Saturday and I camped in my backyard, and then my old ass took it down on Sunday yesterday, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm exhausted from taking down a tent, and I'm like, Burning Man is going to whoop my ass, and it's gonna be a nightmare in the best way possible, but it's gonna be a nightmare. So, yeah. So go follow Ken and go to her stream and give her all the love she deserves.
teach you how to
Josh,
sell drugs.
yeah, tell her how to sell drugs. Josh is busy doing all his big projects and doing all these things, and you go
Getting some new clients feels good.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
If you want to be one of my clients, go to wrbdesign.co. And yeah, I'm rebranding so many pretty decently sized companies right now, and that's a ton of fun for me to do. So
Oh yeah, man.
Way to go.
Josh WRB, the Cocaine King. Oh no,
You're
that's
not wearing a
Ken.
hat.
Yeah.
I know.
By the way, I got my first adult trucker hat, and because I had to buy it, and it was like buy a trucker hat for big heads, basically for extra large heads. And
You
it's
have one of
still,
those extra large heats.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
It's a
And-
virtual planetoid.
Yeah, and
'Cause
I
you got that
literally
big cock. They go hand in
yeah,
hand.
big head and big cock, and I still have to
Kind of like a
put down-
dickhead.
Yeah, kind of exactly like a dickhead, and I still have to put down to 3 dots because my head is that massive. So
Jesus Christ.
my head is huge, and I don't have a hat on. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitch.
It looks proportionate though.
Yeah, it's proportionate. And my book, Death and Rebirth of a Human Heart, which is on Amazon, has been about a year that's been out. So
How much would you think your head would weigh?
Congratulations.
I don't know,
18
man.
pounds.
7 pounds.
Let's keep talking about this.
My giant head. So okay, fuckers. Next week the invitation, and we love you all. And Brian, I'm gonna give you big hand jobs. Ken, big hugs. Josh, I'm gonna punch you in the butthole in the best way possible. And
I'm gonna punch you in the
You guys-
butthole with my dick.
I mean,
Over
that
and
was
over and
implied.
over.
That was implied.
Something
Until I make Josh a cream-filled donut. See you guys next week for the invitation.
Oh, you said in my mouth. Bye.
It's in the game.
Brian, at some point you also get horse cum apparently.